Every offseason, we're all wrong with it. Every offseason, Dynasty owners say, oh, no, we're not going to make this mistake again. And over and over and over again, it happens. I'm going to dive into why the tight end position is something you need to completely change your strategy with. And on top of it, we are going to identify some targets and avoids at the end of this video. But before we get into anything, make sure you go down there, drop a like on this, subscribe to the channel only if you play Dynasty Fantasy Football. And if you have any questions, of course, you can drop them in the comment section. And in that comment section, you'll find a link to Underdog Fantasy. You can also find the link in the description of this video on Underdog. You can check out all these cool player props every single week. And when you sign up for Underdog Fantasy with promo code FLOCK, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. So it's essentially free to check out and available in damn near every state. But I think that should be it. And I did a ton of research for this video. What I wanted to do is I wanted to go all the way back to 2014. The reason I'm going back to 2014 is a couple. That's when I started playing Dynasty Fantasy Football. The rookie season of Sammy Watkins, the year Odell Beckham Jr. came into the NFL, Mike Evans, Allen Robinson, Brandon Cooks, Jordan Math. 2014 was a special year. But on top of this, we are going to be looking at DLF's ADP over time historically, and it started in 2014. So I think it's a natural spot. That's where we should be going to. And what we are going to be looking at is the top 12 tight ends. Now, specifically, I want to be looking at the young tight ends. I want to be looking at tight ends that are under the age of 25. We're going to be looking at where their ADP was that May, and we are going to be comparing it to a year later. Because we know with these young tight ends, what do Dynasty owners say? I know they're not going to produce their rookie season. I know they're not going to produce year 2. I know they're not going to produce year 3. I'm going to roster this rookie tight end, and we are going to have them all the way until they're in their prime, until they're Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, until they're giving us that elite level production. And we're not going to lower their value. Their value gets lowered regardless. And I want to illustrate that. So if we're looking at 2014 tight ends that were being drafted inside the top 12, younger than 25 years old, you had Jordan Reed, 66. Eric Ebron, Zach Ertz, Ladarius Green, Kyle Rudolph, Tyler Eifert. Out of these 6 guys, 0 of them gain value the following offseason. And we're going to stack this up every year so you can see this is not a small sample. And yeah, you're going to see Jordan Matthews on these lists. Keep in mind, he was drafted as a wide receiver. It got changed in the database a little later on, so ignore him. Going over to 2015, we're looking at the top 12 tight ends. You got Eric Ebron, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, Zach Ertz, Tyler Eifert. 2 out of 4 of these guys gain value. Ooh, you hit on them 50%. That is great. 2016, you have Austin Seferian-Jenkins and Eric Ebron. Both of them lost value the following offseason. Then in 2017, we have a new list of names here. We have Hunter Henry. And if you remember that 2017 offseason, I mean, it was an offseason where you had a ridiculous amount of rookie running backs. You had Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara, all in one rookie class. But idiots like myself, for whatever reason, were focused in on a few rookie tight ends that we thought were going to be really good. You had OJ Howard, Evan Ingram, David Njoku alongside Hunter Henry here. 3 of 4 of these guys actually gained value going into year 2. The next year, you had Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry, David Njoku, OJ Howard, George Kittle. 1 out of 5 of them gained value the following offseason. That was George Kittle. And then 2019, guys under 25, you had Evan Ingram, OJ Howard, Hunter Henry, David Njoku, the usual suspects. But then you also add in Hawkinson, Noah Fant, Dallas Goedert, Austin Hooper. 1 out of 8 of these players gain value. We go to 2020. You had Andrews, Hawkinson, Fant. 2 out of 3 of them gain value. 2021, Pitts, Hawkinson, Fant, Irv Smith Jr., Cole Kmet. 2 out of 5 of them gain value. 2022, you had Pitts, Hawkinson, Freiermuth, Alberto. 2 out of 4 of them gained value. That was in May. If we skip forward towards today, 2 of 4 of them have gained value, being Hawkinson and Pat Freiermuth. So if we look at this large sample, how many of these tight ends under the age of 25 gained value the following offseason? approximately 30%. We had 13 players gain value the following offseason compared to 41 of them losing value. So if you made that bet on a tight end under the age of 25 years old that was being drafted as a tight end 1, 70% of the time you lost that bet. And the main reason I'm just looking at ADP here and I'm not looking at fantasy football finishes is we know those rookie tight ends don't give you points. We know they're not producing. The only way you're betting on them, the only reason you would, is so they increase in trade value. So it's been, historically speaking, about the worst bet you could ever make. What's very interesting is you'll see a lot of those names that actually lost value early on in their NFL careers, but then break out to an extreme level. But that's not until they're 26. That's not until they're 27. So even if you made that bet on them back when they were 22, 23, didn't help you. I mean, you probably traded them off your roster by the time they actually broke out. So if we go look at tight ends that are being drafted in Dynasty startup drafts right now that are younger than 25 years old, you have Kyle Pitts at pick 33, and this is on Keep Trade Cut currently. You also have Pat Freiermuth at 80. You have Greg Dulcich at 109. You have Cole Kmet at 114. You have Isaiah Likely at 135. I'm not going to come out here and tell you, you have to be avoiding every single one of these tight ends. I'm not going to tell you, okay, Kyle Pitts, if he falls to you in the 4th round of your Dynasty startup draft, you can't take him. Hell, I bought into him this past offseason. I mean, back in his rookie year, I looked at this historical data and said, oh no, we don't bet on young tight ends. These tight ends are not necessarily solid investments. Give me a Travis Etienne instead. Give me a 1st round rookie running back that can actually catch the ball out of the backfield. That's, historically speaking, the better bet. Yeah, I mean, Kyle Pitts, after his rookie year, I was fooled. I was convinced that he was worth that 1st round selection. So it's hard for me to go through and tell you now that he's lost value and he's fallen to being a 3rd, 4th round pick that he's not a good investment. But going back to these basic principles, it's kind of what it tells us. It kind of tells us, hell, instead of drafting Kyle Pitts, you may be better off just taking a wide receiver, taking a running back at that draft pick, and instead going and getting a tight end that's already developed, that's on the later part of his NFL career. You go get TJ Hawkinson at a significantly cheaper price. You go get Dallas Goedert at a significantly cheaper price because based on their career arcs, historically speaking, that's been the better investment. You get more production and their value is just as likely, if not more likely, to actually go up. If we're going to be looking at those tight ends at the very bottom here, I mean, I think the main takeaway with this video, the main takeaway with this historical data is those tight ends that have flashed, that have intriguing profiles, but haven't produced that elite level tight end 1 season yet. There's no way in hell we should be out here trying to predict them. The Greg Dulcich of the world being drafted around pick 100. I mean, the Isaiah Likely's of the world, do not waste your time rostering them. Do not waste your time going, okay, yeah, I know Isaiah Likely's not going to give me anything right now, but I'll take him ahead of Darren Waller because 4 years from now, 3 years from now, maybe he develops into something. No, it's a bad bet. I mean, even if we go a little bit further down the list and look at 2 guys that are going next to each other. Look at a Dawson Knox drafted back in 2019 compared to Cade Otton, a rookie this year. I mean, even if we look at Noah Fant right after him, I don't see why we're grabbing onto these rookies. I don't see why we're just leaning with the younger assets. Get the Dawson Knox, get the Noah Fant that have already gone through those growing pains. And yeah, because we kind of have a good idea of who they are at this point, it's not like people in their mind just go, okay, they're going to be some special talents. They're all of a sudden going to turn into a top 5 option. We probably know that's not going to be the case, but we know that they can be someone you put in your starting lineup, and the investment is so minimal. So let me know what you think of this video. It's just, in my opinion, proven forever now that young tight ends, rookie tight ends, 2nd-year tight ends are bad investments. Get the old crusty guys that nobody wants. And I think that's all we got for you. Of course, if you enjoyed it, please go down there, drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you play Dynasty Fantasy Football. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down there in that comment section. And in the comment section, you know you can find that link to Underdog. When you sign up with promo code FLOCK, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $200. And check out all these cool player props available in damn near every state. But thank you again. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day, and hope we get to see you with the video tomorrow.